Good afternoon.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
So today, before we start our lesson, I'd like Faith Chelsea to pray for us.
Let's begin and pray. Kind and loving Father, who art in heaven, we welcome your presence and to this lesson from the beginning to the end. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray, trusting and believing.
Amen. Thank you. So before we start our lesson today, first of all, what is the date of today?
20.
So before we start our lesson, we'll do a review of the last class. And our review of last class, you remember we did the properties of matter, right? Properties of states of matter. Okay? So under properties of the states of matter, how many states of matter do we have? 3. Yes, if you do it, there are 3. Namely,
Solid,
we have solid, liquid,
and gases.
and gases. Okay, you remember according to the last class, I had given a formula where I said we have soliga, mavoshi. As a simpler way of getting the properties of the states of matter. Where we say under soliga you tick everything. Here you tick 2, here 1. Where we say mass under M, that is mass, volume, and shape. So you remember according to our properties we say under solid we have solids have both mass, volume, and shape, right? Liquids have mass and volume. But gases have mass only. On the other side where you're seeing the blank, it means like liquids do not have a definite shape. But they will take their shape in what? In a bottle. Or even in containers, right? So when you come to gases, they don't have volume and shape. So that is our review of the last class. So today's class, we want to proceed. And I want to ask for you to be attentive, because it's a very engaging class and we want all of us to learn. So today our strand is about mixtures elements and compounds. Learners, again, what is our topic, our strand today? What is our strand today?
Mixtures, elements, and compounds.
And compounds. And our substrand will be compounds and elements. What is our substrand?
Compounds and elements.
So, today we're going to discuss about compounds and elements. So I want to ask us, how many of us can be able to define the word element? Somebody to help us to define the word elements, because we will start with the definition of terms. So under definition of terms, we will be starting with elements. Because before you understand everything or anything, you have to start from what? The basic. And the basic, we are starting from what? Definition of terms. And the first term is elements. So under elements, I'll ask Faith, help us to define the word elements according to your understanding. Faith Sigilai, help us to define the word elements. Faith Sigilai, help us to define the word elements. Faith is smiling today in class. How many of us are clapping for Faith for smiling today? Yeah, at least she's in class. Yes? Yes, Celine?
An element
Yes.
is a pure substance which contains one type of an atom.
So we are saying that an element number one, a pure substance. Why pure? When you speak about pure, you speak something that is not combined with anything. Are we together, class, again? So what is pure? Something that is not combined with anything. So when we are speaking about elements, or an element is a pure substance that can take part in a chemical reaction but cannot be broken down into similar substitutes or substances. So when we are speaking about an element, is anything or a pure substance that can take part in a chemical reaction, yes, but cannot be broken down into a singular substance. So we can give under this, let us try and give examples of elements. So we have examples of elements. Somebody wants to give us an example, Chelsea?
An example of
an element. An example of an element.
carbon.
We have carbon. Right? So we have carbon. Remember, under this topic, we are supposed to, number one, do what? Our objectives. We are supposed to do what? One, do definition of an element and compound. Two, also we are supposed to give examples of each. Three, we are supposed also to give their symbols. And lastly, we should have the application in day-to-day life. Okay? So under definition, we've started with what? Our element. And we've given an example of carbon. Another example?
Hydrogen.
We have hydrogen. Another example again, we have many elements. Another example?
Magnesium.
We have magnesium. Another example?
Helium.
We have helium. Good. So those are the examples, the few examples under this. So the next one we'll have to define what is a compound. So somebody to help us define what is a compound. Somebody help us to define what is a compound. Sheila Chepkirui. Sheila, yes, help us to define what is a compound. Even as Sheila she's thinking, let us have Faith Chevet help us to define what is a compound. What is a compound? Yes?
Two or more substances chemically combined.
So, under compound, these are two. Two or, for example, if you are asked, most of us at home, you'll be told, oh, today I'm just surrounding the compound. When you look at your compound, what you call a compound, there are many things that comprise in a compound. So, if under this we say, these are two or more substances that are combined or react to give a substance and can be broken down into simpler substances. So under this we are speaking of compound. There are two or more substances that can be combined to form what? To form new substances and can be broken down into similar substances. So we have examples. Who can give us an example of a compound? An example of a compound. Two combining to form what? Hydrochloric acid, right? That is 1. 2. Anybody want to try also? Yes, Celine? Sodium chloride. We have sodium chloride, or what we call table salt. Are we together? So what we call table salt. So what you use at home. So today I decided to come with one of my own, my table salt. This is sodium chloride. So sodium chloride, we always use it at home. So sodium chloride is a combination of what? Of sodium. Let me rub here. So, sodium plus chlorine, which is a gas. It gives us sodium chloride, which is a solid. And because we need to balance the equation, we have 2 here. So we have 2 here, right? So this is what we call table salt. Okay? Another example. We have obvious examples. For example, water. We have water. Water is what we drink, right? So water, it is written as H2O. Who can come and help us to write the equation of it? So that we see the combination. Remember our definition of compound is that these are 2 or more substances that can be joined or can combine together to form a new substance. And therefore can be also be broken down again to give the substances. So who will come and help us to write water? The equation of water. Who will come and help us to write? Yes, who will come and help us to write? Yes, Chepkiru will come and help us to write the equation of water. Karen Chepkiru.
Me.
Come and help us to write the equation of water. What we can say, trying is what? Is not failure. So you keep on trying. Fate has decided to break my chalk, but it is good. Yeah, she has tried. Let us clap for her. Yeah. So she was okay, but there is a correction here. So when we are writing about water, remember these are two combination of what? Of elements. So we have hydrogen. If you want to write the equation, well, number 1 you start with the word is, okay? So it's hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas. That gives us what? Water. Okay? So, what is the formula of, or the symbol of hydrogen gas? It is H2 and it is a gas. Plus oxygen gas, which is O2, which is a gas. So, when you combine, you get water. And water here is a liquid. So, you balance the equation. Here we have 2, and here we have 2. So, we have here. There will be 4 and this is 2, so there will be 2 here. And it will be balanced. So after that, we have to get to the properties. The properties of what? Of an element and the compound. According to our definition, you realize that when we define an element, we say it is a pure substance that cannot be done what? Be broken down. So number 1, one of the properties or property of an element is that it is a pure substance that cannot be broken down into a simpler substance. 2, it is also that is a basic or a block for all matters. Because you cannot have compound without what? Element. When we say a block, you can imagine this room without these walls that you are seeing here. it could not be possible. Maybe we could be feeling there uncomfortable. So here, when we speak about the properties of an element is the basic block of other matters. Like what? Compound. Those are the two properties of elements. When we come to the compound we are saying is a combination of two or more. That is one. You realize when we are doing these properties, we get them or derive them from what? From the definition. So it is very simple to get the properties so long as you understand what? The definition. So long as you understand what, my students? Definition. If you understand definition, you are able to derive out what? The properties. So from there, after doing that, we'll get to the common elements. Under the common elements, we have 20 common elements. Okay? So because of that, I decided today to come up with what? A chart. And this chart is going to help us to understand the 20 common elements. Who can read for us number 1 element? Yes. We have hydrogen. When you look at hydrogen, remember in our objective we say definition of elements and then examples together with their properties, of which we've done. So we are coming to relating the elements with their symbols, which are common. So here we have number 1 as our common element. There is our hydrogen. And when you look at hydrogen, our symbol is H. Okay? So 2, we have what? Yes? Somebody help us? Number 2?
Helium.
Helium. And when we come to helium, the symbol is He. Okay? This is our 20 elements that are here. Okay? So, one thing, I want us every day before you sleep, try to master them. Try to understand them. And I want in the next lesson, you come up with formulas to help us internalize these 20 elements. Okay? So our assignment number 1, it is doing what? Coming up with the formula to do what? Of these 20 elements. What have I said? Formula for the 20 elements. So the next lesson I will check, that is tomorrow, when I'll be coming here. Our lesson will be in the morning. So I'll come here. If I realize you don't have it, what will I do for you? Yes, you'll go outside because you've said it, right? So in the next lesson, I want you to come up with the 20 elements formula so that it will be easy for you to internalize. So from there, having these simple elements, okay? We will come up and now we are going to remember our last objective, it is about what? Our application. Together? So how can we apply, when we speak about application, we are asking ourselves, how can we apply these elements in our day-to-day life? So number 1, I remember I said about what? The table salt. That is sodium chloride. And when we look at our chart, you realize our sodium is at number 11, right? And our chloride is number at what? 17. So when you combine sodium and chloride, according to our question that we wrote there, we get sodium chloride. That is our table salt. And our table salt is here. What do we use this table salt for doing?
Seasoning.
We do seasoning of the food. 2, we add flavor. That is additive of the sweetness. Because how many of us have tasted food without salt? How many of us? It is not sweet, okay? So those are the functions, at least 2 functions of the combination of sodium and chlorine, which is what? A compound, okay? Okay, so we have, again, we have hydrogen and oxygen as a compound. We say water. What do we use water for doing?
Drink.
We do drinking, another one?
Washing.
Washing, another one? We have what?
Cleaning.
Cleaning. We can do laundry with it. Okay? Another example, we have what? We have oxygen. Okay? Well, so what do we do for oxygen? Yes?
Combustion.
We have combustion. You realize if you have fire without air, without oxygen, it will not do what? It will not burn up or lead something. So we are having combustion by the help of oxygen. That is 1. 2, another Chelsea, another function of oxygen. We have breathing or respiration. In plants, they will use oxygen for respiration. And in animals, as a human So as a human being, without that, you will not what? You will not breathe. The other element is about chlorine. So in under chlorine, we realize under chlorine it is used to make PVS, where PVC, which means polyvinyl chloride. Okay, those are plastics. For example, today I came here with my water, the water bottle, and you realize it's made of a plastic. It is made up of the plastic by the help of what? Chlorine, which is used to make what? Polyvinyl chloride. Even those paper bags that you have there outside, the wool bags and all that, they come up from there. Okay?
Yes.
So, my second assignment today. My second what? Assignment today. Number one, I said that you should come up with the formulas of the 20 elements. Okay? Yeah. So when you come with the 20 elements, you will be able to do what? To come up with the formula. That I'll check the next. So my second assignment again, it is ensuring those elements, each of the elements at least have 3 to 4 functions. Okay? Are we together? 3 to 4 functions. Each of the elements. So if we are having 3 to 4, it means 3, at least you have 3 times 20. It is how many? 60. What? 60 what? Points I want. Because why? We have to do that. Because in the exam, you will have to do what? You'll have to write them. And it will help you because even as you develop, you build up on chemistry or you build up on this, you realize you will have to use it in any other places. Okay? So I want you to come up with that. Be very positive about that and we'll be able to do everything okay. So the other thing that I want us to do today, so I want us to get to 2, 2, 2, 2. And at 2, 2, I want us to assign what? I want us to assign the formulas, not formulas but symbols of the following elements. And after you've done that, each and every person will write in his or her book. Are we together? What have I said? You assign to the following elements, they are symbols. Number 1, we have argon. 2, we have phosphorus. 3, we have potassium. So in the group of 2, 2, within 2 to 3 minutes, I want us to do that. You assign the elements of each of the following, and you write in your groups. I'll be checking around and marking. The first two will be able to do that. They will get sweets. Okay? Yeah. So we are starting very fast. Argon, phosphorus, and potassium. Yeah. So we have the first group. Those are the first group. The other group. Yeah, I have checked here in front. I want their backward. People from the back. Yeah, people from the back also. I want to mark. Yes? Yeah. I want to ensure that every person is getting, because this is very important. Yeah. So, okay, so from there, after doing that, I have seen we've done well, and now we're going to do our